Hi, this is Dave and welcome to the Table, a series of videos where I review and discuss board games, looking at them from a family perspective. Today's game we're going to be looking at is Battle for Souls by Robert Burke. This is a 1 to 4 player medieval themed card and dice game where you choose the side of heaven or hell and battle over these immortal souls. We're going to take a look at this game and a little bit of gameplay, and we'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts.
Okay, let's look at the components of this game. First of all, we have a nice instruction manual. It's lovely. Look at the artwork. It makes it look almost like it's a tome. Nice illustrations inside that explain everything. It's very well spelled out for you. So we have that. Nice artwork, little description of the cards inside. Everything all the way up to all of the thank yous to all of the lots of people that helped to make this game come about. This game, the construction of this box, it's very thick. I'm going to bring this up here so you can see. It's really thick. And then as you can see with all the components, everything fits inside really nicely. Starting all the way up at the top of where we store all the soul cards to these little gold cubes that we use to take count of any of the holy or unholy relics that have multiple uses during the game, as well as the dice. And they're just held in place here in the nice little skulls on there. You can bring it up to the camera so you can see. And they choose, you can see it, that tells when a soul can be reaped or not. And then down in the bottom we have these nice compartments here that take care of, I have all of my cards in here for the side of heaven, this is the side of hell, and then on the third slot I have where the angels and devils go in here. As you can see, they're nice and deep, so it can allow for this game to be sleeved if you want to. But the feel of these cards, they have a really nice linen finish. Let me see if I can get it close enough. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. But anyways, these cards, they feel good. Nice and thick. You want to be able to feel these cards in your hand. They're really nice construction. So that's the components of the game. Next, we're going to take a look at how the game is played. Okay, so this is how the game would actually be set up as if I was playing a solitaire version of this game. It would look almost the same if we were playing a two-player game, with this setup being on the other side of the souls for the person who's playing the opposite side. I happen to have this set up as playing the side of heaven, and I'll quickly show you how this game is set up and all the components that are out here. First of all, there are soul cards. The deck over here and across. These are the souls that are in play, and when the game starts, there will be the six-sided die will be placed in the middle square and is set to 1. So right now the souls are all set at neutral, but that's going to change as we go through the gameplay. Also, I have here on the side of heaven, I have my virtue deck, and inside the virtue deck is a bunch of different colored cards here. And each one of the different colors represents one of the different types of virtues. For example, we have diligence and patience, chastity. We have wild cards in there too, kindness, temperance. So we have a bunch of different colors, and I'll explain what the reap cards do in a little bit. We also have a spot for our discard pile in the middle, and then we have these single 1 victory point cards that can be gained. And then we also have these intercession cards and holy relic cards, and these cards can be purchased subtracting points that we've earned on these souls to use these to give you an extra benefit through your turn. And then one last thing that we have here is we have an archangel that we'll have, and they will give you an ability to put extra influence on a soul. For example, Gabriel will give you +1 to a chaste soul per turn. So we'll be able to use these. And they're also worth victory points. So those are the components of the game. And I will show you a sample turn order as to how this game is played. At the beginning of my turn, when the game was started, I was dealt a hand of 5 cards. These are the 5 cards that are in my hand. I have 1 temperance, 1 charity, 1 diligence, 1 humility, and I have 1 reap card. There is a handy turn order card that's included with the game, so it's easy to follow along so you can keep track of where you're going with the game. And the phases must be followed in order, and they really can't be skipped. So the first phase of this game is, it says use one revealed archangel or devil card that you have in play on one soul in play. Well, I happen to have Gabriel that I showed you when I had the components before, and he has the ability that says +1 to a chaste soul per turn. Well, it just so happens that the shepherdess, who's the soul right here, happens to have chastity as one of her virtues. So right away I'd be able to use, she is neutral right now, I will be able to add 1 holy point to her. If she had unholy points on her, I would not be able to use her ability. It has to be swayed towards the side of heaven. That's the first phase. If I was further along in the game, the next phase, if I had more holy points on these souls, I would be able to subtract them to be able to purchase either intercession or holy relic cards and be able to use those later on in my turn to give me an advantage. The next phase of my turn is I can do one of the following. I can use my hand. Looking at my hand, I can either play a set of cards, I could discard any number of cards in my hand, or I could draw 1 new card in my hand up to a hand limit of 8. For the purpose of this turn, I'm going to play 1 set in my hand. I'm going to play these 3 cards right here, which is 3 different colors. And I have at least 1 matching for one of the souls that's in play, and that would be for the model here, whose virtue is temperance, the orange. So I'll play these down, and I'm playing 3 different colors. If I look on the back side of my turn order card, it will give me the hand reward, and what it'll say for a set of 3 different colors, it says add 1 holy or unholy point to a single soul with a heavenly virtue or mortal weakness that matches any one of the cards in play. So on the model has temperance, I would slide this up to 1 and give him 1 holy point. After I do that, these cards will be placed in my discard pile. If I had purchased any intercession cards or holy relic cards, I would be able to use one of their abilities if I did. If I drew a card, for example, this one here, if I were to have purchased one earlier, I had to use it this turn because there is a victory point shield in the corner. And this tells me that I can either, because I'm playing the side of heaven, would give me either +2 to humility or to charity. Unfortunately, I do not have those virtues in play at this time, so it would go over into a pile of where I would have souls reaped and claim just the 1 victory point. Let's look at some of the holy relics. For example, here, the St. Clair's Monstrance. And this says, twice per game, St. Clair's Monstrance may block a reap card. When it is used to counter a reap, the reap card must be discarded. And I'll explain reap cards in a minute. But this says that I can use this twice per game. So I can use this whenever I want, whenever I would like to. And when I use it, each time that I do it, I will put a little gold cube on there to keep track of how many times I've used it. After I've used it, the number of times it allows me to, it will then go into my victory card pile. Also, one other note. On these cards here, when you are matching up certain cards, or you can play these, this border will also allow you to match other cards that are in play. For example, this will match humility because it's purple. Let me explain reap cards real quick. The reap card here can be used only at certain times in the game, and that's going to be used to bring these souls either into heaven or to hell, depending on the number of points that they have on them. If there's not enough of either, the soul will go into purgatory, and there are certain cards that will allow you to claim them from there. The reap card can only be played if at least 1 soul has 4 holy points or unholy points on them. And that would be on these if they're advanced to where there is a skull and crossbones on the die. For example, right here, I'll show you on this one. If it has at least 4, I could play a reap card. If I play my reap card, all these souls will go. This one would go into my victory point pile over here. And these other 2, because they don't have enough, they will go off into the side into purgatory. I will then reveal 3 new souls, and place the die counters on them. Back at 1 and the neutral position, which is in the middle. Some cards, some of the Holy Relic cards or Intercession cards, will allow you to do certain things where you need to actually roll the die, and what you would do is you would roll the die, and whatever the die face came up, you would use that effect to however it plays. So the die does serve 2 purposes. You can either roll a die or use it as a counter. After you've played a reap card, if you want to, you will draw back your hand up until you have 5 cards in your hand, and that will be the end of your turn. That's one sample turn. This game will play back and forth until all the souls have been claimed. And again, I said this game has a different, you can scale the length of this game depending on the number of souls, and you can do that by the letters A, B, and C in the bottom of the game.
Okay, let's talk about Battle for Souls. First of all, let me start off with the artwork. This game is beautiful. If you look at the game from the outside, everything along the edges, the corner work, the picture that's on the cover, the font that's selected, this game is absolutely beautiful even from the outside. When you open up this game is beautiful on the inside. I love the insert and how the game is stored. Everything fits nicely, stuff does not move around. The cards themselves, every time that you play with the game, it feels like you're going to the art museum. All of the pictures that are selected really lend to the theme. They're absolutely gorgeous. All of the cards that you play for your intercession cards, your sin cards, your relics and unholy relics, the angels and devils, they're all classic pieces of artwork that you would be able to see in an art museum. So every time that you play them, that's what you look like. Couple that with the linen feel of the cards, this game feels rich. It looks rich. This game is rich. I can't say enough about just how the game presents itself. Gameplay is a lot of fun, and it is not difficult to play at all. For a family to play this game, there is not much of a learning curve for this game to be played. You only have a couple of mechanics in this game, and so it makes it very simple for you to integrate into a family gaming event. The card mechanics, you only have a couple of things. Basic understanding of poker hands. We're looking at 3 of one kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, a full house, or the variation of colors. 3 different colors, 4 different colors, 5 different colors. Those mechanics, those are easy to teach. And then being able to learn what those abilities are, there's not much of a learning curve, as well as having a reference guide in front of you. So those mechanics of how the game plays, it's very easy. Strategy involved in this game, there is quite a bit of strategy. And that strategy involved is how you manage your resources, how you manage the cards in your hand. Are you going to keep cards in your hand, or are you going to discard cards? Are you going to keep working on getting your souls to heaven faster, or are you going to be able to subtract some of their holy or unholy points to buy things such as sin cards or intercession cards, your holy relics, your unholy relics, to be able to play those and do different things in the game. So it's how you manage your resources with that. So there is strategy to this game. Theme, with this game being a battle of souls and having the heaven versus hell aspect, I think that this game, you should not shy away from this game if you're a religious or faith family because of the theme of the game. It does not cause anything that is negative. It doesn't cast any kind of negativity on any kind of religious affiliation or any kind of spiritual beliefs. On the contrary, it lends to more discussions in the family about what is right and wrong, between what are your virtues and what are your temptations. What are the good things in life that are for you? What are the bad things? So as you're playing the game and you can see what is drawing a soul towards heaven are the virtues, you can talk about the things that you can use and how you can live your life with those virtues. Opposed to your temptations, what are the things that are drawing you away and drawing you closer to hell? So the game can lend into discussions that they can just lead to discussions in your family about that as well. So I think that the theme of the game not only lends to a fun game, but it also leads to further discussions in developing your family life as well. So that's a really cool thing about Battle for Souls. I like this game a lot. It's strategy, it's fun, it's quick playing. One thing I do like about this gameplay is that there is a solo version of this game, so you can play one side or the other. It's very difficult. I've played this. I have yet to be able to beat the game playing in a solo variation. The game played with 2 players. It's a nice back and forth battle, battling over those souls. And then also 4 players, you're working as teams, kind of working together, so you can kind of help each other out to try and draw your souls one way or the other. So this game is a lot of fun. I know that at the time when I made this video, it just came out. It's selling out like hotcakes, so get yourself a copy. I'm sure that when this game will be around as long as these souls, so make sure you get one for yourself. And alright, that's it for now, and I will see you again. We'll look at another game and see if it can make it to the table.